Welcome, everyone, to the Healthy Brain Podcast. I hope you are doing well. Today is all about worry. And is worry keeping you from your optimal brain health and just overall health? A common thread with many of my coaching clients, it's this idea of worry. It's something that's easy to solve, but it's difficult to implement the strategies. So I'm going to be getting into how and why worry can just be such an important area and something to focus on to help our overall brain health. If we can really manage the worry, then our brain health and optimal health can improve significantly. Thank you again so much for joining. And if you're new here, make sure that you subscribe to the podcast so you'll know when I am going live or when I've actually given and released a new episode. Lately, worry has popped up in my mind quite often. So it's popped up for myself and for my clients. And it used to be something that would keep me frozen, that I wouldn't do things that I've wanted to do or that I had scheduled because I worried too much. But now I have tools to manage and overcome the worry. And the thing that happens with worry is just when, maybe you're resolving something, you're worrying about a certain life circumstance. Worry, okay, is solved. Maybe it solves itself or it's solved. But then there's something else that pops up. And as a mom of four, I definitely have experienced this where just when I'm worrying about one kid and that seems to be going okay, then something else happens. If it's not with a kid, it's maybe with work, it's with family. There's always opportunities to worry. But what we want to be able to do is to recognize when we're going down the road of the worry. And why is it that some people can handle a lot of different life circumstances coming at them? Possibly they implement some of the things that I've been talking about. Possibly they just don't worry as much, but I can say that a lot of my clients, this is a consistent theme. But once they learn some strategies that I'll share with you, and after I work with them one-on-one, it really is so helpful. And with that in mind, if you are interested in setting up a free brain health coaching call, just fill out the link that will take you to a form where you can just fill it out and we'll contact you to set that up. All right, so it's interesting because I'll have people, some of my clients, when they start working with me, they have many of their areas of health in order. They're eating really well, like nutrition is on point, social interaction, they're getting the social interaction, they're getting their physical movement. These are very important, and they are part of the 6 pillars of a healthy brain lifestyle. But worry can weave itself into the corners of your life and significantly impact your optimal health. And often that's where the coach sees it. Like, I can tell when I'm talking to my clients and where they'll say, well, everything, I seem to be doing good in all of these areas, but it's like the shadow of worry that keeps you from really going full force into your goals, into what you want in your life, how you want to change your life. Worry keeps you from optimal health by maybe some of these. I'll just list them off. Worry keeps you from a restful sleep. Worry keeps you enjoying the present moment. Worry keeps you from making a decision. Ooh, that's a big one. We just keep going around and around without making a decision. That's a big thing that I do help my clients in making a decision. It really helps because I know for myself, that's once I can make a decision, it's almost like, okay, now the possibilities have opened up. But I've been so worried and consumed with worry that not making a decision, you can't move forward in your life. You're stuck. Worry can cause chronic stress, which really shrinks the brain. And as I've mentioned before, chronic stress decreases immunity. It's overall very toxic to the brain and the body. Worry can keep you from taking the steps, like I mentioned, towards your goals. And worry can keep you in a constant state of activated sympathetic nervous system, where your heart rate is higher, your blood pressure is higher, you're just on edge. You're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's like, oh, I can't quite enjoy. I can't enjoy my life because I've got to worry about this. So the interesting thing is that the brain is just doing its job. It's scanning for opportunities to worry because your brain's job is to keep you safe. And it's scanning to make sure, okay, is there something going on where then we have to go into lockdown and we have to protect the body and the brain? And that is really what the brain is doing. It's scanning for threats. When we understand that it's a normal part of how the brain functions, we can then just get wise to it. And we can get wise to, oh yeah, brain, there you go again. You're on the worry train. Well, we want to solve for that worry train. And that's why you're here. How can it be easy to solve but difficult to implement? Many of you have more than likely heard me or other people recommend some of the tools and strategies that I'm going to share. However, even though we know what to do, why are we not using the tools and strategies? Well, one, it's because it's in this vicious cycle of what happens, and the brain is just doing its job. But it's because, I believe, it's because we're approaching it incorrectly. We're approaching worry with just tools and strategies. I'm just going to throw it at worry and hope that things will change. So sometimes they do change, meaning you can handle your worry better when you use these tools and strategies. But often we need to use these tools and strategies consistently, day upon day upon day, in order to change our brain and our approach to worry. It doesn't work just one time. It's a complete change of how you approach worry. It's a complete change of how you approach life circumstances and crappy things that happen in your life. When we look at it that way, I'll give you a powerful approach to worry. But first off, let's just review some of the tools. So first off, you could have a tool, and a tool is a strategy, an action that you do to help to manage and regulate your worry. And some of the tools help to regulate your nervous system, and I've talked about them: the meditation, breath work, somatic healing. That is very effective at your brain and body's ability to manage stress. It's a tool. Those are a variety of tools. You could also have tools, and I put them in sort of time management tools, because a lot of times when we're worrying, we don't have a plan and we don't have a decision. So you could use a planner. You could prioritize your top 3 in a day. You could really itemize and plan your projects. That can help with managing your worry. There's also self-care tools. similar to regulating the nervous system. It's like working out. Some people may say, well, that's not self-care. I don't like working out. But what I mean is like moving your body. It could be yoga. You could also having a massage or a facial or an Epsom salt bath, red light therapy. Those are self-care tools. They can help you manage your worry. So there's just so many things that will help manage the worry, which, yes, that is very, very important. We want to have those tools. But sometimes we worry so much we can't even start using the tools. And that's really maybe the approach to have it is like, okay, I have all of these tools here. I'm using them once in a while. I'm not really using them consistent. So I'm not really seeing which one of these tools can help me in my worry. Well, I'm going to share something here where it just will shift how you think about worry. Now, first off, I think a lot of people think, and I know I did, because when I started thinking about it, I was thinking of worry as a feeling. It's an emotion. But actually, if we look at worry, is just an action. It's an action. We worry about a situation because we feel possibly insecure, we feel frustrated, we feel anxious. We often think of worry as the emotion, but it really isn't. It's the action. So what we know of, and there's Joe Dispenza has talked about this, of emotions are the language of the body. But also with my coaching, we use a system, a way to really shift the mindset based on cognitive behavioral therapy in looking at the emotion that we feel inspires and compels us to take an action. So if our feeling is insecurity about a situation or you feel anxious, the resulting action is you worry. You wake up in the middle of the night, or who does this when you put your head down to go to sleep at night? Your thoughts just keep going, woo, woo, woo. That's worry. You're worrying. It's an action. What keeps you from taking that step, the next step? It's the worry. So if you think of worry then as an action step, think of, now this is the tool, so this is like homework, but I'm going to guide you through it, is if you are worrying about a life circumstance, so put whatever your life circumstance is on a piece of paper, get a piece of paper and pen. What are you worrying about? You're worrying about this particular situation. How are you feeling about that situation? So get an emotion down. And I did recommend, I went live in my group, my brain health and longevity group, that it's a digital program. It's a group coaching that I do every week, but my one-on-one private clients get access to it as well. So it's a 2-for-1 kind of thing. When people start coaching with me, they get access to this brain health and longevity program. So today I was talking about this system, and I recommended that they look for the feelings wheel, and you basically Google feelings. So there's negative and positive emotions, but there's just a host of emotions. So look at the list and find, okay, I've mentioned a couple: insecurity, anxious, discontent, whatever that emotion is that's causing you to worry, write it down. And what are you saying about that situation? Is like, well, the person is not going to do the right thing. I don't think the person is going to do the right thing, or this is not going to turn out good at all. This is going to be terrible. Whatever that thought is that you have, it's causing that insecurity, that anxiousness, that discontent, and it's causing you to worry. So get that down on paper. The thing is that you want to feel the emotion of that negative emotion. When we name, and through research that they've shown that when we can state what the negative emotion is, when we can say it out loud, when you can really go face to face with it, it loses its hold on you. And that can be really powerful. A tool that I've used for processing emotions is to journal. Now, I was not much of a person who journaled. I don't want to write about my feelings on paper, but sometimes when I just allow myself to write, I become now a person, probably maybe 3 or 4 days out of the week, I'll sit down and journal. If something is worrying me, if I'm worried about something, I'm worrying, I will think of, well, this is how I'm feeling, and I journal about it. That's a way to process through. Now, I do work with my clients on how they can process through emotions that are keeping them stuck, and we look at that. So once you identify that emotion that's keeping you stuck in the worry, in the hamster wheel of worry, and you can see how it's really causing the worry, now what I'd like you to do is ask yourself, how do you want to feel about this situation instead? Do you want to feel trusted, or not just trust, or trustful? You're feeling trust. Maybe you're feeling content. You want to feel peaceful. You write that emotion. Think about how you could think about this situation. You want to feel trust. I can't think of the word that I'm thinking of. It's trustworthy. You want to either feel trustworthy, or you want to trust in that situation. So a sentence I would say in my mind is, and I would write it out on the paper, is, this person knows what they're doing. I trust that they know what they're doing. I have faith in that they know what they're doing. And I'm going to feel the emotion. I'm going to feel faith. I'm going to feel trust. And what does that compel me to do? See, before, when I was feeling anxious or distrustful, discontent, I was worrying. Instead, now, if I'm feeling trust, if I'm feeling faith, then what is it making me do? Well, it's opening up my brain to think of the possibilities. Well, I can maybe look at this option, and that may help that person. Or maybe I can do this step, this action step. And what it does is it gets you in this decision, I'm going to decide to do something, and I'm actually going to do it, versus the worry is just that hamster wheel. This is so powerful. First off, when you can change from looking at worry as just an emotion, but it's actually just an action that you're taking. Look at what is the feeling that's prompting that action of worry, and change it. This is where I work with people. We really get into some of how they're thinking about things, what are the actions that are happening, and where they're stuck. This can really help you, because from there, you know what you may be compelled to do is, if I'm feeling trust and faith that this person, I'm trusting that this is going to work out, that it's going to work out in my favor, in support of everything, and I'm feeling trust and faith, you know what I'm compelled to do? To let go, do a little meditation, prioritize myself, maybe have a facial, maybe book a massage, meditation, breath work, maybe some yoga. It just becomes easier that I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to take care of whatever the situation is. It really is just a complete shift of how you approach things. So while I still prioritize for brain health, especially the working out, physical health, nutrition, sleep, social interaction, challenging the brain. The sixth one, and I dare say in some cases, it's almost the cornerstone of so many, it's the emotional health. And this, what I've shared with you is a tool to help you with your emotional health and help you to manage the worry that pops up. If you're a human being, it pops up. But how can we manage that and not go into that action of worry all the time? The same thing is that we don't want to ignore. In some cases, you can't just ignore. You have to address things. This is, as an adult, we have to address things. We have to manage things. We can't, if we don't want to worry about something, we just can't ignore it. It would be nice to go on a desert island and forget about everything, right? But we can't do that. We want to be actively participating in our life and enjoy our life and live an optimal, healthy life. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you found this helpful. Make sure you share with someone, share the podcast, and lots of good things coming up. Bye-bye.